Welcome back to Hot Rod Guy Garage, and in this video we got a bunch of work to do, so follow me on through the intro and I'll be back. Alright guys, so it has been another week since y'all seen the last video, or at least a few days at this point. So what I need to do is start stripping this 70 Torino so I can get it hauled off for scrap. Unfortunately, I think that's going to be the only future for the car. So we need to start getting those parts stripped off it so we can start on my 66 coupe. I do have an update on the 65. Hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, guys, we're going to start back on the 65 Mustang, the old hack job car. So look forward to that because it's going to go together fast and hopefully it's going to end up being a beautiful car. So drove my 71 to the shop. Been driving it just about every day the past 2 weeks. So let me flip it around and I'll show you where I'm at on the 70 and we'll go from there. So this is where I'm at right now. I come out here this morning and I got all the front and rear window trim off of it and some of the hood trim. I've been doing some other stuff in the shop, but I've been kind of busting off here and there to start taking what's left usable off this car off of it. So I'm working on getting this front fender off because we still got a good wheel well trim, and these little guys right here are quite high if you have to buy them. I know because I bought a couple sets of them, which is actually kind of sad in hindsight that I put this car on Marketplace to part it out and nobody's really jumped on this stuff because, you know, I was just kind of looking to get my money back out of the car. So we gotta get the fenders off of it. We got Daisy down here supervising, make sure everything's going well. She's having to do a full inspection here, just to make sure everything's all right. So I think we gotta do this car before we can really decide if it's really bad, which I know it is because, you know, you can see the rust holes in the top of the cowl. There is absolutely no bottom of the cowl left. So we gotta get this motor and transmission out here, all the AC stuff, and all the bits and pieces that I might need or somebody might need in the future, like these shock mounts, you know, some other miscellaneous hardware. But she's gonna snoop around, see if she finds any mice. But I've had a lot of people say that I should save this car, and as we dig a little deeper, we'll talk about why it's not really worth saving. But I'm gonna have to get some stuff disassembled first, and we'll have to go from there. It's like a tornado out here today. It's super windy, like 30-mile-an-hour winds. Like it's blowing stuff everywhere. A mess. So I took y'all off time lapse for a few minutes, get the rest of this stuff off. I still got to take the driver's fender off of it, but I'm going to show you why it would be foolish to even try to fix this Torino. And the weird thing about this car, where these are usually rotten, like in here, this car is good and solid. A lot of this is undercoating, but as you see, I just stuck a hole through it right there with the screwdriver, and I'm not jabbing hard, guys. But down here you can see our torque box brace, it's gone. I can stick my hand up in here and this is just literally all rotten and gone. Down here, and this is where all these structures tie together. But I got the bumper off of it. You see our front frame rail here, it's gone. Our core support or battery apron is non-existent. We got the crusties up in places where we shouldn't have crusties, like up here in the core support. The whole bottom of the core support's gone. It's rotten. As you can see, the old condensers are rotten. Even our fender up here is gone. It's top driver's side fender. But the main important thing here is, if you look at our strut rod cross member here, this is what the underneath this car looks like, guys. This was a Maryland car, and then it sat in the woods here in Tennessee since 1979. There's just no car here to fix. So I come inside where maybe it's a little less windy, but it's very, very rotten. Like I said, it could be fixed if you had buckets full of cash and the will to want to fix it. I've already got 2 of these cars that are fairly solid. I don't have a place for a rust ball. And unfortunately, I've been trying to sell parts off this car, so at this point, what I'm scavenging off of it's what I want to keep for myself. And I'll just have to go from there on it. But a lot of it, I'm going to keep what's good, and what's not good is going to go to the big scrapyard in the sky, unfortunately. Sad thing is, it's a one-owner car. I've got the original title for this car, so it's a pretty sad end. But sometimes they're just not worth saving, guys. I'd save just about any car, but when they're as rotten as this car, it's not financially responsible to go this route. So let's get to finish taking some more stuff off this thing, and we'll go from there. Well, now the driver's side fender's off. The darn VIN number is about rodded off this side. It's our windshield filler. It's rotting up under the glass. So I was going to save at least the roof skin off this car, but you know, there's not enough air, I don't think. Depending on what it looks like when the window's cut out of it, if there's enough to save to maybe convert a coupe into a fastback. But yeah, more of our overwrought nasty stuff. These cars are bad about rusting here in the seams. It ain't got no hole. Well, I said it ain't got no holes. Just poked at a little bit. We got a hole. But she's rotten, boys. She's rotten. In some bad, bad ways. So we'll definitely keep these. These are hard to find, not all destroyed or broken. So it's got some good pieces on it still. It's just a lot of the car, it's just not worth fixing. But after I got that off, I just noticed our fuel line is Bluetooth. And we also get a hole through the inside of the car right there. So she's well, this side's a lot better there, but a lot worse up in here. That's the thing with rust, it don't sleep, and it is not forgiving. Sometimes ain't worth dealing with, I guess. Boy, it smells like rat in here. I'm inside the car now. I'm just taking some key things off I'm going to initially put up. So I took the dash pad out of it, and I found some pretty cool stuff, and kind of find things in these old cars that kind of give you clues of where they come from. This Gov Ritchie Open Air Theater tickets. These were shoved up at the top of the dash up there. Don't really have a date on it, but it's Glen Burnie, Maryland. Obviously, they've been up there forever. They're petrified, you know. But I thought it was pretty cool, which I knew this car come from Maryland because it's got a Maryland inspection sticker on the windshield and a parking pass for high school. So it makes you wonder what somebody probably drove this car until it was rotten. And the guy I bought it from, his grandfather was a used car salesman down here, and these were some of the cars that he had left over from his lot. So I assume this one just never got its chance of getting botched up and put out on the lot and sold, which would have actually probably served somebody for a bunch of years at this point before it finally got to the point where it's at, where it's just a pile of junk. But I've been working on getting gauge cluster out of it. I found some interesting other holes in this thing that I'll share with y'all here in a moment. But I just want to show y'all them tickets because I thought they were pretty cool. They're not worth saving, but you know, just part of this car's history. Unfortunately, its history's going to end here. Like I've said in many videos, I don't like to scrap anything or get rid of anything, but sometimes cars just aren't worth fixing, guys. Like that 66 of mine, it's worth fixing. It's a decent car. It's got good bones. This Torino, unfortunately, does not have good bones. It does not have anything really positive going for it, other than there's some really nice small trim pieces on the car. And a lot of the rubber and plastic stuff that's usually disintegrated in these cars is actually pretty nice on this one because it's sat in the woods since it was 9 years old. So covered in leaves from top to bottom. If you go back to the first video I done on this car, I rode this thing down the side of the mountain. It was pretty bad off. So all I pretty much done was I tried to give it a chance to be saved, and it's just not savable. And from a smart standpoint, let me just say that. Kind of like our 65 Mustang project that we all watch. It wasn't a smart project to start either, but it's turned out to be a nice car. Unfortunately, with Torino, there's not as much reproduction stuff available, and a lot of the part sellers are extremely high on this stuff. So, you know, this one's not worth saving. Maybe it can live on with some spare parts for my cars, and maybe some of y'all's guys' cars. If any of y'all ever run across this video and need anything, I'm sure I'll probably still have some stuff right hold away off this car, because there's a lot of good stuff on it still. And this isn't going to be just a one video strip this car type deal and it's gone. This is going to take me multiple weeks probably to strip this car to the point where I'll feel good about sending the rest of it on off to become a new Kia or Honda or a microwave. So let me get back to pulling parts. Yeah, got the dash cluster out and the upper dash. I like good stuff. Seeing there's some curious rust holes. There's one right here. That's way up on the cowl, guys. That's almost up here at the top. And the bottom is completely gone. But what I was saying, the structure was gone. Your torque box should be right here. And while it looks solid, a lot of this stuff sitting on top of it. That's what's left of the parking brake cable up there, you know. They just ain't a whole lot of car. Where your seat mounts, it's gone, obviously, and the floor. Rear torque box don't look so good up underneath. It's rotted out seat braces. You know, it's just pretty bad. Been using it as a cat house out here, feed outside cats, but you know, while some of this stuff looks decent and looks bad, there's, like I said before, there's good stuff on this car. These cars are rotted out in here too. This car is good and clean in the pillars, but up here at the front, it's already starting to get the bad cancer. And that's some of the bad stuff that you get. And obviously, like I said before, the quarter panel, say this ain't nothing there, inner wheelhouses. You can't even jack this thing up with the doors open. You can barely get it on jack, period. But it's pretty bad. Like I said, you can see that pile of rust just from taking the fender off of it. Move back here in the trunk. You know, stuff that's usually gone and rotted out in this car is actually pretty decent. You know, like trunk drops and stuff. But, you know, there's no inner quarter, no trunk drop on that side. The part that the gas tank mounts to is gone in the trunk. And our other side, about the same way. The outer wheelhouse is pretty much gone. Trunk there, and we get Daisy's little friend. He come to visit. I guess he's been eating some of the food that's been in this car. But, you know, like I said, some of the stuff that's usually completely gone is actually still here. Hi, buddy. But even the trunk lid, it's not worth saving. It's so gone that it's just rotten. So, like I said before, I hate to kill a car, but I don't think, like I said, I don't think this car is worth saving at this point. I don't have the money to fix it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys don't have the money to fix it either. So, hopefully it can live on. I got something working with a buddy of mine that might work out on parts for our 66 project, and he needs some fastback Torino parts. So, you know, I've got to process this Torino so I can get this on the ground and a roller. I can get it in the shop and we start working on it. So I think at this point it's late on Friday. I started this video on Monday. I don't think I'm going to get any further this week on this car, so we may have to pause on this one, because I do need to get the motor and transmission out of it, because I think that might be a option that we can use in the 66. Either way, the motor runs good in it, and we could always take it apart and see what it looks like inside. So, like I said, I'm working on getting a plan on getting this thing onto the ground. But I'm going to take a moment here in this video. A lot of people were concerned with I was talking about possibly doing a body swap, how the frame rails in the bottom of the car look. The frame rails in this car, like I said before, are beautiful. And the bottom side of it is actually really nice, you know, for an unrestored car. We just get that small rust that we seen before. The rear frame rails are just as good as the front ones. So maybe the way to go with 66 might be just to graft the Fox body towers in the suspension while maintaining most of our original 66 structure. But I was saving kind of that for our next video, as I was trying to process this Torino so I can get it out of the way. That way I can get the 66 onto the ground. So There's still quite a bit of stuff to take off this thing. I'm hoping maybe me and my buddy can work some kind of deal out on it where I can just keep the pieces that I want, and maybe he can use the rest of this car to help finish his. Because one thing about this car is still, like I said, it's got all the hard to find little clips and trim pieces and screws that, say somebody had a disassembled fastback, that they could at least use as a guide to get theirs back together. On a side note, if not, if any of y'all are interested in this car like it is, like I said, I still got the fenders and everything I've took off of it in this video, but I don't think the car is feasible to repair. So the next big thing I need to do is get this out of here, and I could always put that in my red Torino, you know, if I wanted to. But I was roughly planning on trying to scab what I could out of the front end of this car and getting the rear end out from under it, and sticking it under the 66 just enough to be able to move it. I know a lot of this stuff's not a direct bolt in, but it would be good enough to get it on the ground and, you know, into the shop where I could start on the metal work, because we're getting into winter time already. And earlier in this video I was talking about the wind. That wind blew in a cold front. It's been pretty chilly the past few days. So I've still got a bunch to do, and we're just going to have to move forward from there. So guys, I know this video is going to be a little shorter than our normal videos, but unfortunately this week I've been super busy at the shop doing other small jobs that aren't really interesting enough to make a video out of. So I've been trying to get this thing stripped down while I can, so that we can move forward with the 66 project. So make sure you check out our community page. I've been putting polls up, kind of give y'all kind of a say in how we build this car. I want this build on the 66 to be kind of a group effort between me and you guys. I want to build something that you want to see. I've got some big things working in the background on it, and hopefully one day we might be able to do some kind of giveaway on a car on this channel. So as long as we keep growing the way we have, it should be a possibility of things that might be able to happen in the future. So if you like these kind of videos, make sure you hit that like button, share them with your friends. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, because it does help the channel grow and makes these videos, like a possible of a car giveaway in future, a thing that could happen. If you are a subscriber, I greatly appreciate you guys. And everybody, don't forget to check out my merchandise store down in the description below. And I'll see y'all at the next video. Thanks for watching.